Hello YouTube fam, how y'all doing? This is your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, the channel where I rant and I review 2.0. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Hey, I'm a toy collector and I got a problem. I got an issue, I got a habit, I got an addiction. I got a fondness for collecting nostalgia. Things that make me happy, things that put a smile on my face, things that I can remember back when times were rough and the family pulled together and my brothers and sisters played with the toys with me, to make me feel better when shit was going on. Stuff that make you stop and think. I have connections with comic books. I have connections with the toys and the shoes, the video games, man. Things that I did with family, friends or the kids, man. Things, I had Nerf guns, man. I had a ton of Nerf guns. I had one of the biggest Nerf guns that you ever seen, the biggest collections of this shit. A lot of stuff I had to get rid of, man. I had slot cards, RC cards. I had all type of shit, robots. I had just shit, remote control robots, dude. You don't know too many people with all this shit. I had all this shit. I had a collection of skateboards. People like, man, Unc, you just be talking shit. I'm not talking shit. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you about none of that. I had this shit, but man, life happens. When you older, life happens. Shit gotta go. Sometimes you gotta sell stuff. You know what? You move into a different era in your life, and that era don't include this stuff. As you grow older and mature, shit start changing. Your priorities start switching. You like, man, I got a family now. My focus is on my wife and my kids, and this job. I gotta work this job to put food on the table. Your shit starts shifting. Like I said, at one point in time, I was really, really hard into video games. The room was just video games. This was back when I had the actual room. The room was big. I had video games up the ass. I had 2 TVs in that room, flat screens. And you know what? The room was off the chain, man. I had comic books on the walls, on thumbnails, with thumbtacks, inside the boards. That way it wouldn't mess with the comic book or the plastic, Then I had Hot Wheel cars, still with push pins in them, for you could put them on a hook and just have them up there. Man, it was nice. I had some baseball, basketball, Pokemon. I had a lot of this stuff, man. I had my Jordans, my special ones sitting off on the shelves. Like, dude, it was nice. But as we grow older, shit changes. Your priority, the thing that a lot of people don't understand, you can't take this shit with you. You can't take this shit under the underpass with you. If you get put out or evicted, I hear all these people talking about van life and car life. That shit is not real. That shit that you see on TV, it ain't real. You see the good parts. You don't see the bad parts. You don't see the parts when people trying to actually steal your damn car with you in it. That's your fucking house they trying to steal. You don't see that. You don't see the part where these people be scared to be in the car sometimes. You don't see none of that. Like I told you, I actually lived in a car, for a little while. Shit was real. People don't understand that either. I sit here and tell you this shit and not even bat an eye at it. You got to do what the hell you got to do. Like I tell people, when it's time for your ass to move around and you can't take this shit with you, you can't be attached to it. You come first. You can get all this again. But you know what? If you let yourself fall into that hole, like, I got to take my stuff with me. If you ain't got nowhere to go, trust me, you ain't gonna have none of it. And, I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's just stuff. That's all it is. You got an attachment with it, but it's stuff. Stuff can be replaced. You can't. As I look at this hobby, man, and I was looking, and, I was like, man, now that I got means, I can actually buy stuff. I could get back into stuff, the way I really wanted to get it. I was into it then, and I had the means to get it then. But now it's just like, there's a few things that I don't have to worry about no more. I had a bigger comic book collection. I had over damn near, 8,000 comic books? Dude, well, not that many. Hold on. Shit, it was around that. It was like, no, it's about five. It was about 5,000 because I think I got like 1,000 now. It was like 5,000. Shit was real back then, man. But like I said, you got to make the moves and you got to make decisions based on your life. If your life is dictating to you that, hey, this is a better move, you got to get the hell up out of here. You got to do what you got to do. Nobody else matter but you. when it comes to you. You came in this world by yourself. You gonna leave by yourself. And this is what I'm getting at, man. I look at particular toy lines, man. That's me. I'm all over the place. I was into the Transformers at one point in time. And like I told you, I had nothing but Transformers on shelves and everything. And it was looking good. I had them all. I had some untransformed. I had things all over the flow. I had Metroplex, Fortress Maximus, Tripticon, Omega Supreme. I had them all. I had Skylinks and all of them on the flow, just right there looking big as hell. Those Titan Return ones, dude, they were looking gigantic, looking amazing. But you know what happened? I had to sell some of this stuff. I had to sell my Turtles. I had to sell the Power Rangers. Dude, I sold a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff. I sold a lot of those Terradromes that I had in the beginning. Not the ones that I got now, but the ones I had back then. I had to get rid of. I sold the Nerf guns. I sold the Hot Wheels slot cars. Some of the stuff I sold, but you really can't. Not Hot Wheels. It was like slot cars, like Tyco and all of them. Tyco was the bomb when it came to slot cars. Man, I had a room, and the room was just a track. It was a racetrack. That was what I was into at that time. The racetrack was just amazing. I sand the track down. I sand the metal parts down. I made sure that they were nice and clean. I made sure that there was nothing in the tracks. I made sure that the connectivity was fantastic. Them cars were zipping across the track. Dude, that's when you're doing what you're supposed to do. Like I said, just because you got rid of stuff, man. I used to have a sound system that was gigantic. My speakers would sit off the floor up this high. Each speaker, I had two of them, and I had another two. Then I had surround sound. Then I had the laser disc players, the CD changers. I had all that stuff. The big old boom boxes from back in the day with the components and all that stuff. The preamps and the amps, the bass amps. I had all this shit, man. That's what I was doing back then. I had high 8 players, super VHS. Dude, I had all kind of shit. And a lot of people, reel to reel, dude, I was doing this shit because this is what I do. And I think a lot of people don't understand. That ain't me bragging. This is me telling you. When I get focused on something, I get focused on it. When I got focused on cars, dude, I went ape shit. I had a few cars out there at the time. And, I was like, yeah. Cars are something that people don't understand. And I'm going to say that. And I'm not talking about toy cars. I'm talking about the ones you drive back and forth to work and, to the store and everywhere else, vacation and things like that. People don't understand. With cars are different when you buy toys and video games and gym shoes. Cars are different. Upkeep. You got to get insurance on all the cars. City stickers here. Plate stickers here. You got to keep them full of gas. Dude, there's a hell of a lot of shit going on. Then you got to get them, that yearly exhaust, emissions test. And you sitting there looking at all that like, damn, that's why I let the cars go. I had to sell those. People don't understand. When you doing what you do, you understand. You understand after you start doing the math on shit. Having a ton of shit is one thing. Having a ton of shit that you do not have to pay more on. After you buy it, it's yours. It's like going to buy a diamond ring. You buy it, it's yours. You don't have to pay no more on a diamond ring. That's what you want to do. If you're going to have hobbies where they keep on incurring, you got to make sure you have the flexibility and the money to actually go along with collecting this particular type of hobby, man. This is why I say I know what's for me and I know what's not for me. And I learned valuable lessons along the way, man. You know what? The collecting journey so far, man, it's been a blessing. Like I told you, I have done this 3 or 4 times. I had video games of shit that people never even heard of. I had systems nobody heard of. And like I said, I was selling them on eBay. I sold some to this game store over in Wicker Park because I had it on Craigslist. I sold a lot back then, man. I was so mad that I sold it on Craigslist, to the guy, at his store. I was upset because I realized I really didn't get no money for this. If I would have pieced it all out, I would have made a hell of a lot of money. So the second time when I sold it, I made a hell of a lot of money. See, later on, I had like these little mini computers from Sony that it's like a mini laptop that you slide the screen up. Man, dude, Shit was real back then. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. You know, it's like when you having fun, you start noticing stuff. You know, dude, I was off into computers. I was building computers. You know, because, you know, they were so expensive. I was buying pieces, putting them together and shit off of eBay, man. I was having fun. Like I told you back when I first started all this stuff, we used to hit thrift stores every weekend, man. And I tell you, you know, you could find Sega Genesis and all of them for $1.25. You was finding Super Nintendos for $2.50. And see, that's the thing. Nintendos for like $1 or $2 back then. And this was back in the 90s, early 2000s. Dude, shit was real. But till later, thank you for watching. Peace out.